Paige Keeton deserves a huge amount of credit for us becoming a nationally prominent elite law school.
He was a powerful guy. He really put the law school on the map.
He had this vision for this law school that was bigger than he was. He was first in his class. He was editor of the Law Review. And they said, we'd really like to have you join the faculty. So after 3 years, they gave him sort of a sabbatical to go to Harvard.
Professor Warren Seavey of Harvard Law School was the big name in torts law. Paige Keeton became his research assistant and ended up being on a book, Seavey and Keeton. And that's how Seavey had a powerful impact on what area of the law that he was going to be in. It turns out to be tort law.
I was fortunate, though, to have Paige Keeton as my torts professor. And of course, he was a preeminent authority in the country on the law of torts.
The University of Oklahoma Law School was looking for a dean. They asked him to come interview. And so in June 1946, off he and Madge went to Norman, and he became the dean of the law school. The first thing he did when he got to the University of Oklahoma, he said, you need to have a law review, because that's how you get a better law school.
Dean Keeton believed in the importance of a law review. He knew that it was essential for UT to have a law review to be viewed as a world-class educational institution. He knew it would be a benefit to the students, to the faculty, and that it would enhance the school's reputation.
TLR struggled financially in its early days. They'd had years of operating losses. To shore up the finances and to ensure its longevity, Dean Keeton was able to persuade the university to subsidize TLR. Because of those subsidies, TLR thrived, became financially self-sustaining, and it's still here. During his last 16 years as dean, he served as the top faculty administrator for TLR. It now takes 3 of us as faculty advisors to do what Dean Keeton did.
Dean Keeton was a kind and generous man. Every year, he dipped into his own pocket to subsidize students who were in need for money to pay living expenses, rent, and other costs.
One of his remarkable characteristics was his political astuteness. We're not talking run for office political, but how to be adroit in sensitive situations.
Dean Keeton also was committed to the academic freedom of the law faculty. In the 1960s, the Board of Regents demanded that a law school faculty member who had expressed public support for integrating UT's dorms appear for questioning before the Board of Regents. In response, Dean Keeton persuaded every single law school faculty member to join him and threatened to resign unless the regents withdrew their demand. The regents withdrew the demand.
He had such a huge following among his alums and some very powerful people. And when Keeton came under threat, they would come to his support.
Dean Keeton created the Texas Law School Foundation, and that has gone a long way towards supporting the standards of excellence that the law school requires.
It's amazing the stars that he got. I don't know how he got Charles Allen Wright to come to Texas, and that's just the start of a list.
GIs were coming back to law school on the GI Bill, and they were mushrooming the law school. There was not space. Everybody knew we needed a new law school, but Paige Keeton, major influence was on where the law school would be situated.
Mr. Keeton wanted a piece of land that would enable the law school to expand.
The greatest tribute to him is just take a look at that school when he showed up there and take a look when he left and recognize that he was responsible for almost all of the improvements.
Dean Keeton displayed integrity in his commitment to civil rights, took a really courageous stand in the 1960s when he discovered that many of the large Houston law firms were discriminating against Jewish students at the law school. Not only did they refuse to hire the students, they wouldn't even give them an office interview. So Dean Keeton met with some prominent members of these big law firms and gave them a simple choice. You can continue this offensive conduct, or you can continue recruiting at the law school. The law firms changed their discriminatory hiring policies. Dean Keeton's legacy, his presence, you find that everywhere in the building. It's our building now. It's the faculty that he has attracted. It's the wonderfully diverse student body that we have. We are who we are because of Dean Keeton.
We thank him for all of his service to the University of Texas School of Law, to the University of Texas Law Review, and to the university at large.